Well, hi guys, this is another Test Miles review of the brand new Jaguar F-Pace, the first SUV from Jaguar, and there's a lot of interesting things that went into this vehicle. First of all, Jaguar, well known for their performance vehicles. They had to take everything, the DNA, the performance, everything they do, and put it into an SUV, a completely different space than they've ever done before. So they were cramming a lot of performance into something that was a lot bigger, but at the same time they wanted the car to keep the proportions, keep the feel that the Jaguar name had built over years. Now, there's a few things to point out. First of all, definitely can see it's an SUV. Second of all, this Jaguar badge, the growling Jaguar at the front, is flat, and that's because it has that cruise control behind here, and you want to be able to have the cruise control working, so you couldn't put a hard emblem in the front of the vehicle. The second thing I want to show you is this wristband. This wristband is actually a very clever design that helps you use the car but not take the key with you. So let's say you want to go swimming, hiking, but you don't want to put the key in your pocket. What you can do is lock the key on the inside of the car and then use this wristband to unlock it once you return. Even if someone breaks into your vehicle, takes the key out, they're still not able to start it while you've activated the wristband. So here's the interesting thing about the activity key. It comes in this little wristband, and once you return to your car, and remember your key's locked inside it, you have to open it. What you do is you find the button that normally opens the trunk, you hold it down for a couple of seconds, then you put the key on the J and the car unlocks. Now I can actually get inside the vehicle after it was locked. A very clever idea of taking your stuff anywhere you want to go. Close the vehicle. What you can do is shut the door as well. I want to lock everything inside the car. Remember, the key is still in that center console. Just take the activity key, hold it against the J, and the car locks again. So now we're inside the 2017 F-Pace from Jaguar, and I'm again joined by my friend, the guru from AAA, Jim Pruder. Jim, you've had an opportunity to drive this car. How does it make you feel?
I think it's fantastic. You know, Jaguar was late to the party, but they may be the prettiest one to the party.
So this is a performance SUV. It has the DNA of a Jaguar. It's a true sports CUV, and they've put a lot of the F-Type into the F-Pace because they wanted this car to resemble a sports car, including a big bulge in the hood. They've also put some of the lights from the F-Type in the back of the vehicle, and they've put a lot of new technology on the inside just to make it handle the same as a sports car. Up front they have brand new LED headlights. Those LED headlights are adaptable, and it also has the J-Blade daytime running lights, which are now a signature of all the Jaguar vehicles that they're coming out with. And of course they put LED tail lights on the back end, the same as those that are in the F-Type. Now those LED headlights are as bright as daylight, and what that does is allow the human eye to adapt and see objects much clearer than if it was just a regular incandescent light. So on the inside, Jaguar have worked very hard in manufacturing a contemporary interior. They have handpicked a lot of the materials, including the leather. This didn't just come from a large leather consignment company. What they did was look at each piece of leather to make sure it fit, it was the right quality, and then they put it inside the vehicles. So they did a lot of work on the inside to make sure this had a very fine fit and finish. Now you can tailor the inside to exactly how you want it to look. You can change the color of the seats and the materials to make the car feel like your space. In fact, it even has adaptable contemporary lighting on the inside, so you can choose how the car feels at night when you get in and out of it. One thing that Ian Callum did as the designer of this car to give it a sports car feel is he made this center console very high, lifted it up, which means it feels more like a coupe. It feels like you're sitting lower in a vehicle, and it does, in fact, on the inside make you feel more like you're driving a sports car than you're driving an everyday SUV or a CUV. Now, to make the visuals on the inside work perfectly, they have positioned the pillars just in the right place at the right size to put in larger glass, so your surround view of the vehicle is very clear. It's hard to find a blind spot inside the new F-Pace. Of course, that goes for the roof above us as well. It has that sliding panoramic roof, which means that every single passenger on the inside of the car gets a brilliant view of the sky, day or night. And it has that shade that comes across it, which is standard in every single F-Pace. Now, this had to be a true CUV that fit 5 people, and you can fit 3 adults in the back row side by side very comfortably. It also has a lot of extra legroom and a lot of cubbies and a lot of space up back. In fact, it has 27.3 cubic feet of space. They've also thought about where you need to put your everyday items. On the center console, they have pockets on the side, so you can put your cell phone inside those pockets, as well as having a space right underneath the touch screen where you can stick your cell phone as well. So they're thinking about where you're going to place those items that you use every day and have a space for them to go. Let's talk about what's under the hood. Available is a diesel 2-liter turbocharged engine. This is all aluminum, and it will be 44 pounds lighter than if it was made of the regular materials. This is a new engine for Jaguar. The diesel isn't quite here yet, but they do have the gasoline engines which are available, V6 supercharged. Now, there's a little caveat that goes with this, because there's 2 different engines. The only difference is the horsepower. They are both V6 supercharged. One has 340 horsepower and the other has 380 horsepower. The only difference that we could find is the 0 to 60 times. In the 380 horsepower, it's 5.1 seconds. Now, a big thing for Jaguar when they built this vehicle was to make it aerodynamic, and that's exactly what they've done. The whole exterior has been very, very carefully sculpted to cut through the air as minimally as possible, so the vehicle has a very low drag coefficient. The other thing that they've done is lightened it with that 80% aluminum, and it also has a 50-50 balance in the vehicle. Now, it has an interesting way of dealing with the all-wheel drive system. If you get into, let's say, regular conditions on a dry road, it's going to be 90% in the rear wheels, 10% in the front wheels. If it starts to get inclement weather and a little difficult, you'll find it's going to be 50-50, both front and rear. And if those conditions change from dry to wet, it's going to go to a front-wheel drive mode, where it's 90% up front and 10% in the rear. Jaguar really pushed this vehicle in testing, so they took it to the Arctic to test it at minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit. They also took it to Dubai to test it at 122 degrees Fahrenheit, so they know that the car will work in any kind of road conditions. Now, they have something called dynamic mode on the inside of the vehicle, and what it does is basically sharpen how the vehicle handles. You'll find it sharpens the throttle response at the same time as increases the steering weight and performs gear shifts a lot quicker than if it's in the regular mode. And I've found that the dynamic mode is probably the best mode to drive the vehicle in. Now, this of course has torque vectoring like other of the Jaguar vehicles. It also has stability control in the vehicle, helps you with cornering and braking, and as well as a heads-up display that gives you all the information that you might need while you're driving. Now, it does have that 8-inch or the 10.2-inch in-touch control system. That's a touch screen on the inside of the vehicle. Now, what it can do is contact somebody at your destination and let them know the ETA of when you're going to be arriving. It'll send them a text message after it does the calculations. It'll also do things like locate your vehicle if it happens to get stolen. And the one thing that I like that it really does is allows you to use your cell phone to remote start the vehicle. So whatever the temperature, hot or cold, you can sit in bed and start your vehicle and have it warmed to the climate that you like before you even get out of bed. Two different sound systems in this vehicle. You have an 80-watt sound system, which will give you 11 speakers. You can bump that up to an 825-watt sound system that has an amazing 17 speakers and can really make your ears ring if you put the volume all the way to 10. Now this vehicle has advanced driver assist, which gives you things like traffic sign recognition, which I like because the vehicle actually knows what the speed limit is by reading the traffic signs. It has a blind spot system on it, which means that it'll tell you if someone's traveling in your blind spot and you're trying to change lanes. It also has park assist. The park assist will give you those 360-degree cameras, and it has adaptive cruise control with something called queue assist. And I found that's really funny because we don't actually talk about queues in the United States. We talk them about lines, or you line up for something. Well, queue assist, what it does is if you come into an area that has lots of traffic, the adaptive cruise control is on, you slow down to stop, the adaptive cruise control will kick in, it will bring the car to a complete stop. When that traffic starts up again, the queue assist will actually kick in and it will start the vehicle running again, and it will run right the way up to what you have set the cruise control at. So it really helps you in heavy traffic situations. You don't have to keep stopping and starting the vehicle, it will do that work for you. Now it has 5 trim levels in the brand new Jaguar F-Pace for 2017. There's the base F-Pace, the premium model, it also has Prestige, R Sport, and then the S. If you go to the dealer to order it, you'll find that there are 14 different exterior colors available, 15 wheel options, as well as 10 interior colors, along with 20 different interior combinations, which means you can put different colors together, and there are 6 interior wood and metal finishes on the vehicle, so you can choose aluminum or some kind of wood to make the car really pop and feel like your very own space. And finally, one of the things that's really troubled Jaguar for a long time is the reliability of the vehicle. They have a reputation of not being very reliable. Well, that's actually not so true, because lately, in the last 5 years plus, Jaguar have become more and more reliable. So to prove this and show you how reliable the vehicles are, they have given you a 5-year, 60,000-mile warranty, but with that comes Jaguar Elite Care. And what they've done with Jaguar Elite Care is given you a complimentary scheduled maintenance, which means for the first period of the car, you actually go into the dealer and get everything done by the dealer, by Jaguar paying for it. You don't have to pay any out-of-money expenses as part of the Elite Care plan. It also gives you roadside assistance, and that really shows that if anything goes wrong with the vehicle, Jaguar are ready to step up and tow you somewhere so they can take care of the vehicle. Now, the new F-Pace is definitely a game changer for Jaguar. It adds the 5th car to the lineup of all the Jaguar vehicles. If you want to know more about this car, go to our website. It's testmiles.com. We'll show you all about the vehicle. The brand new Jaguar F-Pace starts at just under $41,000. It'll get the best fuel economy in the diesel at 23 miles a gallon, and they are on trucks on their way to dealers as we speak. I'm Nik Miles.